Time for the Sportsbet Supernova big race coming up right here, and Nadal is your favourite in this one. Plenty of chances throughout though.
The first running of the Sportsbet Supernova, 1400 metres, the second race in the newly crowned Southside Slot Series. The Meteorite made quite the splash on Cranbourne Cup Day. We're hoping we're going to see similar fireworks here. One of the gallopers returning, one of a handful who ran in the Meteorite, is Arkansas Kid. He was in the Lindsay Park slot on Cranbourne Cup Day. Here he's running on behalf of Cavallo Park Stud and the Cranbourne Cricket Club. And he's got good 1400 metre credentials, solidified by what he did in the Kevin Heffernan Ben.
Yeah, he looked the winner there, but he was just run down late by Wellwall. Forget he's running the Meteorite. He had no luck at all. He can race on speed over 1400 metres. His very best form this prep's probably not on wet tracks though.
I like his parade today. He seems pretty fresh and well, this bloke. He's nice and alert. He's moving well. His fitness is absolutely spot on, and I'm always hone in when these Hayes boys tinker with headgear. Winkers again, I think helps.
Good luck to Hutch and the crew. They're here with the mighty Munamek Horse 2, who resumes. We haven't seen him since the Underwood. The last time he ran at 1400 metres, he was 2 1/4 lengths off Gentleman Roy in a Group 2 PB Lawrence.
He's had 2 recent jump outs. I loved his work past the line in the latest behind Here to Shock. He's got a strong first up record. Look, he looked arguably unlucky not to win the Damien Oliver in a previous first up run at Flemington. So he's the one I think is way over the odds at the prices.
I always like when this horse gets his march on in the parade, and he came in and he was on a bit of a mission. I think he looks in outstanding order. He looks fat. He always looks fat. That is just him. But I think as far as his physique goes, he's got really good tone, and I'm very wary of this excellent first up record.
3 is Here to Shock, who does run in the Lindsay Park slot. He's a 1400 metre specialist, winner of an Alan Brown and a Group 3 Cameron at Newcastle at 1500 this time in.
Ignore the run and the margin last start where he was found to have cardiac arrhythmia. He won his previous 2 starts in strong races. You know, he's got a second to a very good one in another will at 1400 metres earlier the preparation. He's the equal highest rated runner in the race that's suited under the set weights and penalties conditions of the race, and he's just got an outstanding 1400 metre record. I think he's one of the better winning chances.
He's so lovely and supple and loose in his action, this horse. He's moving particularly well today. His fitness is absolutely spot on. Obviously just dropping back in distance, you don't have to worry about that. He is getting a bit warm on the girth. That's nothing to be concerned about.
Celine Gaudray is back aboard the 4 Buffalo River, who backs up from the Heath last Saturday.
Yeah, so he got the wet track 2 starts ago at his favourite track and distance to suit in the Heffernan and ran 4th, and then last week he was okay in a weaker race. This is stronger. I think the firmer surface takes away his advantage that he may have had in the Heffernan and still couldn't win. Does look the potential leader in the race, but I think others have got stronger recent form.
He looks outstanding as usual. He fronts up week in, week out in brilliant order. It's a credit to the team. He does need to find a few lengths on his most recent form, but the old buff, when he's going well, is most definitely capable of winning a race like this.
To the 5 in Just Folk, who runs for Southside Racing and Orchard Park Primary School, who got a return out of Ray Magnerio's runner-up effort in the Meteorite. We haven't seen this galloper since he won the Group 3 Lord Mayor's Cup during the Brisbane Winter.
He was solid in the latest of 2 jump outs at Cranbourne. Look, he's only 1 from 8 first up, and I think he'd need a genuinely wet track to win a race like this first up, but he's just a pretty cool horse, Amy.
He is a cool horse, and I think it's a really nice return. I don't know a lot about him, but I would say to my eye there's going to be a nice natural improvement to come, but well done to the team for getting him back after a significant setback, and I'm sure whatever he does today he will improve on. 6
is Nadal, a dominant winner of the first edition of the Meteorite. His only look at 1400 metres in his career to date was an 11th, beaten 3 lengths in a Group 1 Golden Rose at 3.
Yeah, it was, but he was pre-gelding and he probably wasn't going anywhere near as well then. It was a huge win in the Meteorite last start, charging home against the track pattern on the day. standout performance on the program. He's jumped out terrifically well between runs. Now, the big query, can he extend that brilliance to 1,400 metres? If he can, I think he'll win. There is a little bit of a query around it, but how's he look, Amy?
He looks spot on. I thought that he continued to make nice natural progression. It was the best I'd seen him most recently at Cranbourne. I like the jump out between runs. They're leaving no stone unturned in regards to his fitness if he is going to run out this strong 1,400, but saddles up in lovely order here.
7 is Wellwall. The Supernova wasn't necessarily on the plans for the Price Kent Galloper, but he won the Group 3 Kevin Heffernan and qualified for this race. Reason to come here in itself for Price Kent.
It was a big win, charging home over the top of Arkansas Kid first up on debut for the new stable. And the stable's concern pre-race was whether he needed the run, so he might take plenty of improvement out of it. He was in the right part of the track on the day, and his record is better on wet tracks. So that's the question as to whether he can handle this stronger race back on top of the ground.
I feel like he has taken really good natural progression out of that first up win at Caulfield. He looks a lot tighter to my eye. He's conserving his energy really nicely. I think that he's here in good shape.
8 Tuvalu scratching this morning. 9 Charlton Lane back to Victoria for the first time in a while. He was a last start winner of the Canberra Community Chest.
Yeah, last start winner whose best form is clearly over 1,400. I love the jump out between runs. Thought he went very well, and he likes firm ground, so gets his right distance and right conditions.
He's a big, strong boy, this horse. He's really built for speed and power. I think that he's in lovely order. He's a very attractive horse, easy to look at and catch your eye in this parade ring here. His fitness is absolutely spot on. He's deep into a prep now, so nothing there can be improved on.
10 Pashiro draws out for Daniel Moore. He was wide on Ballarat Cup Day.
You got to forgive that run. He missed the start, 3 wide, no cover, first up in a forgivable effort. He should be fitter for that run. And the keys to his best form, 1,400 metres, firm ground. Gets both today, but he does rise sharply in class. I think he'd need to go to a new level.
He does strike an incredibly tough race here, but he's in lovely order. I think he's come to hand pretty quickly. I didn't see him first up, but to my eye, he looks like a horse that's fitness is right where it needs to be. 11
Robrick finished midfield in the Meteorite.
Had the pattern against him there, but so did the winner who ran straight past him. The rising distance looks the big positive. I do think others have got stronger form.
He's a really good-looking horse, this, and I don't think it would surprise. He's been racing very, very consistently. You put a line through the Meteorite, and he's been super over spring. He turns up in great order again.
12 is Roots, a clarification of tactics, intention to be ridden further back than last start, which was close to the speed in the English Bracelet.
And that, I thought, was an improved run from Roots last time out, albeit with every chance in a weaker race. She's won a trial between runs. Look, her recent form doesn't look strong enough, and I think she's going to need to improve sharply.
She's got a great action, this girl. She's a very smooth walker. She's an attractive type. I think that she's here in lovely order. She's in an extremely tough race, like we know, but she's here to run well.
Gavin Bedgegood also presents the 13 Windstorm first up. He was behind Munamek a couple of times during the winter.
He's resuming from a spell of 4 jump outs, which signals some real intent. The latest was very quiet, but the third beating Wellwall was particularly nice work. He's got a strong first up record, and he was very good first up last preparation when arguably a bit unlucky not to beat Nicolini Vito. So whether he can win at this level, I'm not sure, but it would not surprise at all to see him run a huge race.
He hasn't won in a very, very, very long time, but he has got an imposing first up record, which you must respect. He's a real powerhouse, this horse. I don't know him overly well, but he's moving nicely. His coat looks good, and I think that he's really on a bit of a mission here.
14 Roll On High gets back onto dry ground after her 7th beaten 5 in the Heffernan.
Yeah, might not have handled those conditions last time out. She's a really talented mare on her day. Had the pattern against her last time out. I had a huge opinion of this mare earlier in her career. You know, she's beaten the likes of Jolie Star over 1,400 at Flemington. She's beaten Steffi Magnetica over 1,400 metres at Eagle Farm. That is good enough form to win a race like this and win it well, but it's just her recent form makes it hard to be confident.
She is 1 from 1 at the track and distance here too, which always gets a tick. She looks in brilliant order. Obviously trained on course here, they can find a bit of a leg, but she looks beautiful. She's quite fresh as the jockey's just got on board. She's here to run well.
A great addition to the Pakenham Cup Day program. For the first time, $1 million on the line in the Sportsbet Supernova over 1,400 metres. Ben, do we see Nadal produce what he did in the Meteorite?
Well, the question will be, can he extend that brilliance to 1,400 metres? But if he can, then I think he is probably going to be very hard to beat in this race. He yet to tick that box at 1,400, so you have to take a relatively short price to find out, but it was a stunning win last time out. So I think he's deserving of favouritism. I'm going to be very forgiving with Heater Shock's last start. Back to his best distance. He's got an outstanding record of 1400. His form prior to a forgivable run where he had cardiac arrhythmia was outstanding. And I think the one that the market's missed here on an each-way basis is Munamek. Great first-up record, jumped out very well behind Heater Shock. But Amy, who was the pick from the yard?
I've put the 7 Wellwall on top. I thought he looked an absolute treat. I thought he had a bit of tightening up to do when he ran first up at Caulfield, and he ran absolutely out of his skin. I think he's taken that really nice natural progression. The blinkers go on today. It signals a lot of intent. I thought the horse was just beautiful in the yard. Nadal continues to saddle up in fantastic order. I think it's a really good even race, but I'm happy to have the 7 on top here, Wellwall.
Sharply in that, and he hasn't galloped since. He's just been back at Fingles, so he's here today at the same weight, same order, obviously one more run in, and this would be his grand final before hopefully an autumn prep.
The 1400 is the query. He's been tested at one time previously. What are your confidence levels in regards to that coming in here today?
Pretty high. The way he does race gives you that. He'll be back. He could be near last. Ethan knows him. He'll be saved up to get the 14, and we're excited by the fact that today's race does have good speed in it with Heater Shock, Buffalo River. So hopefully they do run along as they should, and we could be there late, which we obviously hope we are.
How are your cup runners coming into the next?
Yeah, they're nice. All travel here well. Smoking Romans gets up and about, but he actually is very calm behind there. He's just swatting a few flies, as we all are. And yeah, Strawberry Rock's good. He looks better today, he's starting to tighten up. And Herman Hess is deep into a prep. It's just a matter of how the race is run.
Good luck here, Jack.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you to Jack Turnbull. Ben Ascarius will bring you back in as we tick towards the first running of the Sportsbet Supernova. Jack referencing the speed in the race that should suit Nadal with the likes of Heater Shock and Buffalo River going forward. The other aspect that looks favourable for Nadal from his draw is that very lengthy run from the 1400 metre start here to their first turn, about 900 metres out.
I think they'll look to smother him up, like the stable said there, you would think, and just produce him for that one run in the home straight. Track racing really well today. I don't think there's anything to worry about pattern-wise for any horse, but speed-wise, yeah, Buffalo River looks the likely leader, doesn't he? And when he draws wide as an older horse, I think it's a big positive because he can take his time to roll across. He doesn't have the gate speed that he used to. I'd expect the Lindsay Park pair to both kick up from their middle draws. Maybe even the Arkansas kid finds the fence with Heater Shock when he's outside early, and they might be the 2 initial leaders before Celine gets across on Buffalo River and puts him forward. So they look, the 3 Just Folk should park just in behind them. I don't think it's going to be a really fast speed by any stretch unless Buffalo River gets going in the mid stages.
Here we go. For the first time, it's the Sportsbet Supernova. 7 figures up for grabs over 1400 metres with Terry Bailey.
What a race it'll be. Nadal set the benchmark, winning the Meteorite. He's looking for a special piece of history. He wins the first running of the Meteorite. Can he run the 1400 out in similar vein and win the first running of the Supernova and hence take home the big double? Roll on high to move in for the Sportsbet $1 million Supernova.
Coming up. Get your gear bay ready.
And here's Pashiro being led up. Nadal runs the favourite, Ethan Brown for Kieran Maher, who's conquered just about everything. All set. Line looked good, short and lane moving about.
Rolling clear.
They're racing in the Supernova, and Wellwall slow to go when the gates open. Going out fast is Short and Lane looking for the front. Arkansas Kid here to shock began very quickly, and Roll On High is handy coming across Buffalo River. He's going to inject plenty of speed as they bustle for positions. Robrick behind the main pack, then came Windstorm. They're followed back in the field by Short and Lane as Just Folk went up about 3rd or 4th. Going around them wide out is Roots 2 to Wellwall. Nadal second last. Just in front of him as they come down the side of the track, Bashiro and Munamek last of all. Buffalo River took off. And in the Supernova at a super speedy race, 2.5 lengths in front of Heater Shock, Just Folk, 2 lengths Roll On High, Robrick. A length and a half away outside of those is coming to the bend, Arkansas Kid, Roots. They're followed well back by Short and Lane. The favourite Nadal is second last. He's giving the speed 10 lengths as they turn. Homeward bound the old boy, the veteran. In front, Buffalo River by 2 lengths. Heater Shock looming up. Roll On High, wider out. Coming down the outside is Wellwall with a run from Robrick, and Nadal popped the question. Heater Shock hit the lead in in the Supernova. He leads Just Folk the inside. Arkansas Kid running on. Here to Shock in front. Shorten lane late with Arkansas Kid. Here to Shock in front, and he'll win it. Here to Shock has given Lindsay Park the inaugural Supernova. Arkansas Kid a half head second from Shorten Lane. Bashiro Robrick behind those. They're followed by Just Folk out wide on the track. Windstorm, the nail didn't come on. Back in behind those runners pulling up was Roots in company with Bashiro, Munamek and Well Wallers last in.
A 1-2 punch from Lindsay Park in the first running of the Supernova. Here to Shock gets it done in the Lindsay Park Racing slot. Pearsdale Baxter Junior Football Club, the beneficiaries. And what about the run from Arkansas Kid? He was excellent in the Heifer, and he gets back on a dry ground today, and he was pressing the stablemate in the final few strides. So Cavallo Park Stud and Cranbourne Cricket Club, the beneficiaries of the Lindsay Park double. Chalton Lane runs a race on his return from north of the border to be the best of the Mar runners across the line. And Southside Racing and Orchard Park Primary School in Officer, well, they got a good side out of Arkansas Kid on Cranbourne Cup Day. It's Ray Magnerio on Cranbourne Cup Day. It's a similar story here with Just Folk, who's run quite the race as well. Bit to distill out of the head on. There was sort of horses poking in everywhere. Chalton Lane, we're going to watch that replay back a couple of times. With a bit of clear air, he could have really pressed the Lindsay Park 1-2 in the finish. We'll get a better look at the performance of Nadal as well, who was looming late, but just maybe he had to wait a little bit long to make his run. He'll end up running somewhere sort of midfield. But all honours to Team Hayes, and it's Daniel Stackhouse's day so far. A double earlier with Phillip Stokes. He takes out the big one, the first running of the Supernova, 3-1, 9 and 5.
What a result for Lindsay Park, and what a horse he has been. That is his 12th career victory at start 35, and remarkably at 1400 metres he is now 8 wins, 3 seconds and a third from 17 starts. He is a 1400 metre specialist. He puts himself up near the speed. He loves dry ground, and he gets the victory today narrowly from his stablemate Arkansas Kid. In just this preparation alone, you know, we thought of him as a good, honest, sort of open handicap, a listed type of horse. But after winning a BRC Sprint at Group 3 level during the winter, this campaigner, second to another wheel, he went on and won a $250,000 Cameron, a $1.5 million Alan Brown, and now he's added the inaugural Supernova. Let's hear from Will Hayes. Has made the trek out to Pakenham today, but, wow, some result, Nigel, for Lindsay Park. Yeah,
an enormous result for Lindsay Park, a 1-2 in the first running of the Supernova. Will Hayes joins us after an amazing result for the team. Will, you wouldn't have known where to look in the closing stages. Who are you cheering for?
No, it was terrific. Cheering for both of them. Here the Shock, he's an absolute marvel. We're very confident after the big dance in Sydney that we were going to get him back, and we had our eyes set on this race from a long way out. So that's why he was representing our slot today. But Arkansas ran huge, and thanks has got to go to Cavallo Park Stud, who let us enter Arkansas in that slot. And yeah, they both ran super today.
What's the work been behind the scenes to make sure Here to Shock was spot on?
He's a horse that we love getting down to the day paddocks at Euroa. He really just likes being in the country environment. We keep him nice and relaxed. As you'll see, we have earmuffs on him as race gear. So keeping him relaxed has really been key to him going through the ratings. So he's just a happy horse. We gave him a tick over trial before this, and we're really happy with him coming into today.
You and your family have got an amazing affinity with community sport, whether it be down here in Melbourne, back in South Australia, or in Euroa, where you've also made your home. What's it like to deliver some much needed funds and support to some really good community organisations around here?
No, it's awesome. Like, winning is good as it gets anyways, and the fact that there's a community edge to it as well just makes it feel even better.
What's Here to Shock's 2025 going to look like, do you think?
Oh, he's a pretty dangerous 1400 metre horse, and we still think well weighted he can get a mile. So the options are plenty. I don't think many horses will want to be seeing him line up against them.
So an all possibly?
Potentially, yes.
Enjoy the spoils. Well done on the 1-2.
Thank you very much.
From Will Hayes to Daniel Stackhouse, who's having quite the day. A treble now, and takes out the first running of the Supernova on Here to Shock. Stacky hadn't been on his back since winning a Victoria Handicap all the way back in April. It's a happy reunion.
Yeah, I have to thank Tatum, my partner, for trialling last week for me. She did me a big solid, and she was going to be dirty if I don't give her a shout out. So I'd like to thank her and, you know, all the Hayes boys, all the owners too. You know, he ran some great races up in Sydney. Obviously, he had that heart problem last start, but trialled beautiful last week. And then he's such a different horse now. Like, he's so quiet. He normally used to sweat up. Now he's tough at both ends.
You know what you're going to get when Buffalo River's in a race over 1,400 metres. How did it play out?
Yeah, 100%. You know, like, he stepped okay. I sort of had to use him. Obviously, everyone wanted to be in a position, so we just had to do a little bit of work for the early half. But it's such a beautiful straight to run into that first corner. I was right when Buffalo comes, he gave me a nice toe into it, and I could just use him as a bunny. He switched off great. Just started to improve from about the 6 to the 4, and just nursed him along, and then got to the 300, and he just kept doing the rest, and felt like Arkansas kid coming, and he just toughed it out. So no, it's a great win.
Is he getting better with age?
He is. You know, like, I rode him 2.5 years ago, I think it was, and he's just a young kid, just out of control, really. Like, he'd sweat up, he'd pull, he just did so much wrong, but he always had a lot of ability, and great job to the stable. You know, they've sorted him right out, and he is the horse he is today because of them.
Augurs well for more in 2025, no doubt with you attached. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. I'd just like to thank Rob Slade as well. He's been solid to me, so it's nice to reward him.
Well done.
Thank you.